ist der Foo Fighters Podcast.
So, hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of our, how do we pronounce our name? SZC Podcast, no radio.
Welcome to the podcast.
It should be the second episode, but we messed up the first, so will now be the first episode after the pilot episode.
They don't have to know that.
Yeah, you don't have to know
As
that.
far as you're concerned, we're professional podcasters.
Of course.
Yes, we don't make mistakes.
No, the audio wasn't clean. It was
Yes.
all messed up. So
And who thought that you only had to look in the internet how to do it correctly and it would be better? So now we have also we are trying a new setup in my room. It's a very cramped space. Adam's chilling here with his beer. That's
feet on the bed.
yeah, everything rhymes.
I see only cables and two beautiful men with big black microphones in their hand.
Big black things in the
Thanks,
room.
yes, sorry.
Yes. No, welcome back.
What do we want to talk about today?
Today a lot has happened since 2 weeks, right?
Yes, 2 weeks.
Yeah, we were kind of lazy. But to be fair, there was also a vacation, which is something surreal to Adam because he doesn't have vacations.
Yes.
But not how normal people, I would say, are used to vacation. So I work at the schools, meaning I have 2 weeks vacation here, I have 2 weeks vacation there.
All paid.
All paid.
It's great.
But Adam, he makes his own kind of vacation and he's his own boss. So I was away for a week. We could talk about that. That was your idea.
Yes.
And we can also talk about some changes or something interesting from your life in the past 2 weeks.
I would say we can start with a small journey of your great
Midlife
vacations.
crisis trip.
Yes. I think at the end it
No.
will be very, very interesting to hear about it. And then maybe we can jump onto a new
Topic.
topic.
Yes,
I always
exactly.
want to say theme. It's a
Theme.
It's a topic.
Yeah, or a
so-
subject or
What was the mysterious place?
some of the
You-
mysterious place is actually very fitting with our podcast because it has to do a lot with English.
Yeah.
Can you guess where I was? Dum bum 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 ba-dum bum bum. Correct. I
Poland.
was in London.
Yeah.
Yes. It was for the first time. It was a very hectic decision, but not hectic in a bad way.
Spontaneous.
Yes, I would say spontaneous is a good word. I
You would say
decided.
One
Yeah,
evening
you're
before
right.
you said, I think I might go tomorrow to London.
Yes, I'm moving out next week. No. It was a spontaneous decision. And I always wanted to visit London. And I thought I have a week because it was a week that passed from the vacation and I was at home. But I was very happy because I worked on my schedule a little bit. I tried to wake up earlier and I actually got myself to
You did it actually.
the point where I can wake up at 5 a.m. as I always dreamed of. And that was kind of destroyed in London, not because I couldn't wake up, but because
Much
I had
travel. You walked a
planned-
lot.
yeah,
Everything,
exactly.
yes.
Yeah. So I took the train first to Paris on Monday, early in the morning. I almost didn't sleep. And so I drove from Zurich to Paris.
This was on Easter Monday, right?
Yes, it was on Easter Monday.
Easter Monday.
We've celebrated with as a family the days before, had an Easter brunch and the usual
Mhm.
stuff you would do. And then I took the train to Paris. But because it was such a spontaneous trip, I couldn't have the train connections as smooth as I would usually want them to be, because I bought them quasi last minute. I bought an Interrail ticket, but there are trains, did you know that? There are trains in Europe that you cannot board, so you cannot go onto them if you don't have a seat reservation.
Yes,
Yes,
I
that's
know it.
crazy.
That's crazy.
So I was shocked because I looked at the timetable and I was like, oh, great, I can depart at 7 a.m. from Zurich and be in London at like 3. But then I looked at the train that I needed to take from Paris to London and I saw seat reservations required. But there were no seat reservations left because everything was booked up.
But
Booked
can't you still ride with them?
You can
Because I once
enter.
did and I slept on the floor.
You can enter, but I think you slept on the floor.
Yes,
Really?
yes.
You-
So just laid down,
Nice.
sat there and had
Travel for free.
our great rosé and drank it up on the floor.
From where to where did you
And
drive?
I think we drove from Switzerland to first to Amsterdam, and then to Berlin. And I think
yeah.
on the way you was
Yeah,
with
exactly.
us.
I joined you later.
This was for
yes.
2 years ago almost.
I think so. Yeah, it's
Yes.
crazy how
It's
fast
crazy.
it goes.
Just drinking on the floor, gang. You know how it goes.
That's funny. You didn't buy any seat reservations.
No, I think we couldn't because it was full.
But was there like a controller who came and checked
Yeah,
your
but
tickets?
these Germans controllers, they're always pissed. I know
Yeah.
they're just walking by and Scheiße. And yeah, they let I don't know what should they do? Throw us out?
Yeah, exactly.
I think they can, or
I think that they actually can. I don't know if they can, but the police is very involved with the Deutsche Bahn. So they
Okay.
do random checks on trains for people who ride from Amsterdam, for example, back to Switzerland. There
yes.
can be a case that randomly at the Swiss border in Basel, right? The guys even with K9 dogs, they come in and sniff out. It's crazy.
Sniff your
Sniff.
ass.
Some good stuff. No, but you can board the train. But I think that if you cannot show a seat reservation, if it's required by the train, then they can kick you out.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I wanted to make sure everything went smoothly.
And you bought one.
I bought one. I was so happy. I spent 2 hours at my laptop just praying that
Yeah.
it didn't go to waste. Because I bought the Interrail ticket and I was dumb enough to forget that Brexit happened. So I had, I have to have a visa to go to
Yes.
London. And
Yes.
my whole body was like, this was a great idea, but I fucked up. But then I applied for the visa electronically and it took me like 2 minutes and it worked.
It's great how fast it goes.
But
But is it
was
only with
lucky.
England because it was once EU, or can you also get a visa if you want to visit Tanzania, or?
Yeah. Of course, if you're outside of Europe, you always need a visa.
Yeah, but if you
Exactly.
can you get it as fast as you did with England?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I think that the UK government has made it. That was done not so long ago. The electronic visa
Yes.
thing. Normally, you would have to. I don't even know how you do.
You
you
do
would
it with the passport, as far I know.
Yeah.
You go there, blah blah blah. You get the stamp on, and
Oh,
maybe
okay.
an
But they have to check your criminal
signature.
record.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Yes. Okay. No, but that was electronically very
They
easy.
didn't check your criminal record. Oh yeah, of course, because then you couldn't go.
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course, you can press that you didn't commit any charges and they'll believe you. which is great.
Really?
Yes. Which
Crazy.
doesn't mean that I committed any criminal charges. We don't.
This is
I
what
wouldn't talk about that.
now they have problems with immigration.
No, but I eventually managed to book enough, book a smart enough connection. So I first went to Paris. Then in Paris, I spent a couple hours there. And I was already in Paris a couple of times before. But I wanted to walk around the city just a little
You
bit.
met someone, you told me, a nice old guy, or not? What was it?
Yeah, it was like a 40-year-old guy, I would assume. And Paris has a lot of, not like a lot, but they have
Snail
definitely
lovers.
more. Sorry?
Snail lovers.
Snail lovers, yes. They praise them. No, but you have a lot of homeless people.
Oh yes.
And which is also interesting in Paris. Thank you.
Mm.
You would see. How would you say this in English? In the ground, you would have a gitter,
Fence.
a fence which is used to for hot air to escape
Ah, yes.
from like fabrics or I don't know
Mhm.
where. And you
But-
often see homeless people sitting on on these places because it keeps them warm.
Oh, okay.
I
And
don't-
it comes like right from the ground.
Yeah, exactly. So you get asked a lot, you know, if you have any money for food
Oh,
or anything.
excusez-moi. Do you have...
Yeah, if they start speaking French, I run away.
I'm right.
But this guy was very friendly. He asked me for some money because he wanted to eat. He couldn't speak English very well, but I tried really hard to concentrate on what he was saying. He had this very thick French accent.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Like listening to words in butter. You didn't understand it. You had to
Yes.
really listen. And I proposed, this is what I always have proposed, to go and buy him food somewhere.
That's very nice of
Because I don't want to give him money because I don't know what he's going to use it for.
I was going to use it for alcohol.
Probably,
And the
right?
Snickers.
And yeah, I mean, you need you're not yourself. Right? Is it sneakers? You're not yourself.
Yeah,
is the
I think
Twix?
yes, it's
Yeah.
Snickers.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity to talk to someone.
Yes.
You
and
can't miss that.
then you went to to McDonald's.
King.
Burger King.
Yeah,
Fuck.
but it was funny because exactly when we ordered it on the machine, it didn't print out
Oh.
the confirmation
Mhm.
number. So we had a funny discussion by the cashier.
Hey, excusez-moi.
Yeah, exactly. When he started speaking French, it
Oh.
was like just
Can you speak French?
no, je ne parle.
Je
No.
ne parle pas français. This
We
is the
had
only thing
French,
I can say.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
we
can
had-
say something else, but I don't know if I can say
I
it
know
in
what
the
you
podcast.
can say.
Yeah.
Give me an impro.
Okay. Dans ma pantalon, il y a une monstreuse.
Coke monstrous.
Exactly.
Oh,
Now you
I
said
think
it.
Spotify is friendly.
I think so.
You can put music where you sing about killing babies.
Yeah, that's right. But
And
is it the
no
same
problem.
for podcasts?
No, you have a small icon, I think. No, it's of
Oh.
course. I think it's the same as with YouTube. In the worst case scenario, you can't monetize it, but
Okay. That's funny because I normally say swear words without thinking about it.
yeah, of course. Just
Now-
say it.
Yeah,
We
dans
don't
ma
care.
pantalon, il y a une coque monstrueuse.
Oh, oui.
Oui,
Oh, no,
where. They say where.
Where?
Yeah. No, but that was a fun experience talking with him a little bit. He was from Congo.
Oh, wow.
Told me a little bit about why he's not there. That surprised me that there's actually a war going on in Congo, I think.
I think this is. I heard about it, I think, 1 year ago.
Yes, I'm not sure, but I don't want to spread any misinformation.
Double check us on that.
Yes, but that was fun, and I went to visit Montmartre after that. That's a quartier, I think, in a part of Paris. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the place where they filmed the movie Amélie, you know?
Yeah, I heard about it. yes.
Exactly. So the streets I took there, some of them were used in the film, which was a spontaneous thought. I thought, I saw a lot of Paris. I want to see something I didn't see before. So I went there. There's also a very pretty, I don't know if it's a church or if it's a basilicum, but it's Saint Michel.
Isn't the one that started to burn?
No, that's Notre Dame.
Ah,
Yeah, exactly. Which I think they still didn't finish rebuilding. if
and I
I'm not
never
mistaken.
finished. It's the same as in Germany. The one big castle
Which one do you
in
mean?
Cologne.
Oh, I don't know. The one with the two towers.
Yes.
Ah.
They're still rebuilding it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. But they
Yeah.
will rebuild it for century, I think, because
Yeah.
so much going on. In 100 years, when they repaired something, it already went down. And yeah,
But I heard, you know, the big building in Spain.
is it recording?
Yes, it's
Okay,
recording.
Sorry.
But I'm a little bit louder than you, and I think I should turn myself down.
Or I should speak more loudly, maybe.
Yes, but I think in the end, if we increase your gain a little bit, it shouldn't be so bad. Yeah.
Do you say I don't have gains?
You have gains, but
Okay, good.
not in your voice.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, so if there's some problems with the audio or if some things are inaudible, then we're sorry about that. We're still learning, but I think with time we'll get the hang of it.
Yeah, of course. And if we have some specific, or how do you say, technicians here who understand how to create a great audio, just leave a comment there and help us. Maybe we still need a cutter. Maybe we don't know. Today Michael does it, but if you want to work on provision,
Yeah, I mean, if you have any tips,
just leave it there.
you can share. We use a simple setup. We have 2 microphones and connect them with XLR cables to a Focusrite Scarlett. It's I don't
It's a
even know
red
what
box.
it's this red box exactly.
Some inputs and outputs.
Yeah, it's a audio driver, I guess, and we connect it via USB to my laptop where I record using Ableton, and I just realized that I have to plug in my laptop because
shit.
otherwise,
I
suddenly the podcast will be over.
And I will open the fenêtre.
Fenêtre.
Window.
Yeah, exactly. But
So
back,
where do we
back to the
story?
story. There I was, looking over Paris because it's a very high spot.
Mhm.
So you have a nice view. And then I walked back. It was funny because Paris has, I think, 3 or 4 stations.
Yes.
And I arrived at the main station, Paris Gare du Lion, which I also never understand because Lyon is a place in France, in the south of France. But the main station in Paris is called Gare du Lion.
Yeah, these French people. I
They-
think they don't understand directions. À droite, à gauche.
Yeah, but they're very obsessed with north, south, west, and east.
Really?
Also, the Eiffel Tower has 4 entrances,
Yes.
and each of them points to the direction. I
Fucking
think
nerds.
at least they call them the entrances.
They
according-
copied it from the pyramids.
but not as accurate.
We're French in the pyramids. Mm.
And I walked to Paris Gare du Nord, which is the one at the north, I guess. And there was a piano there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people playing. I stood around, talked with them if I got the chance. There was this nice Czech family with which I talked, and
You talked in Polish, or did you talk in
I
English?
talked in Polish at first. They understood me, but I realized that they were kind of shy,
Yeah.
and that it was a mom and 2 sons, I think. And the one also plays piano, but he didn't want to play.
What a loser.
If you're listening,
How
Adam said that, not me.
No. Yeah, I said it. Was it a young man or?
Yeah, I mean, it was completely understandable at that age.
Yeah, of course.
I wouldn't want to play, but you didn't hear it. You could stand like 2 meters away from the piano. You wouldn't hear it because every 2 minutes, first you'd have all the noise from the station.
Yeah.
And second, every 5 minutes you'd get this big ass announcement in French. Exactly, yes. But I played there a little bit, and then I went through customs, which was good. It's not as bad as at the airport. Customs
security
means-
control?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And then I was off, and I was really looking forward because I always found it crazy that you could take the Euro tunnel, which goes
That's really
underwater.
cool.
It's like
Yes.
150 meters or so underwater. But to be honest, it was dark, and I didn't even realize that we went in.
Wow.
And just like that, we were in.
How long did you drive?
Okay. Let me think.
2 hours?
Yeah, it's around 2 hours,
Crazy.
but you kind of, you're in the minus zone, so you're an hour behind compared to Switzerland.
Yes.
Yes, but it takes around 2 hours, and I arrived in London at the main station. Then there's next to the main station, which is St. Pancras, it's called, the main station. And next to it is King's Cross. That's also the station maybe for Harry Potter fans, where they have the 9 3/3
Yes.
platform.
Yes.
And I didn't see that.
But they have it, really?
Yeah, they have a...
I thought they had it just for the film.
No, they have a like a cart, right, where you shop, like
Ah,
into the middle, kind of glued into the
I think
wall.
yes, I saw it once.
Yes, and
Yes,
I didn't want to go because of the tourists, right?
yes.
There's probably a biggest line there. And it was at night, so I didn't care. And I walked to my hotel. I
Which was a big, great hotel to be
was
honest.
a very good hotel. I contemplated at first. You know what contemplated?
No,
Contemplated means.
what is it?
Contemplated means thought about, if I should have done something else, like contemplated or
Ah,
on
yes.
something.
Okay.
I think means, if I'm not mistaken, to evaluate, to think,
Yes.
which was better. Yes, I just wanted to make sure
Yes, that we're on the same level.
if we have words we don't understand, we can ask each other.
Sadly.
And I thought about,
But why did you contemplate it?
I thought about, if I should book a hotel or a hostel,
Ah,
meaning
yes.
with other people,
And-
which would have also been great. But first, I wanted to wind down on my own, and I like to sleep on my own. I like to have my own space, and not to sound too dramatic, but I talked with some people from work and also a brother of a friend of ours, Nicola.
Mhm.
He said he was in London and that there was really just junkies there
Oh, crazy.
in the hostel, which doesn't mean it's always like that, but I just wanted to have my peace of mind.
Yeah, it's London.
And it was very, very nice, nice hotel. It was the first time I was in a hotel by my own. That was crazy.
And you also rode with the
The metro.
yeah, the metro, yes.
exactly,
What was their
that's great.
experience there?
The first time it felt like I was in a movie because I only drove in the metro in Paris,
Yeah.
but it's not the same. In
Okay.
Do you know the scene? It came to my mind because we watched it at school. I watched it at school with my students. Do you know the scene in The Matrix
Yes.
when at the end Neo has his fight with Agent Smith
Yes,
in the
yes.
metro,
Yes.
right? And you see that curved wall. Is it?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's a curved wall.
Think it
Maybe there's
is.
another. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe that's yeah. But you walk in and you're like, I'm in a movie. It's crazy. Because
Whoa, but where's Neo?
yeah, my name is Neo. But the train came, and first it was very confusing because I didn't know which connection to take. There was also nobody around at that time, and I was kind of stressed with ChatGPT in one hand, right? And I didn't know where to go.
Did you had an app for this? Is it for the tram app? Or
No, I did that later, but I got off there and spontaneously took ChatGPT to ask which connection I should take,
yes.
which most often works. I also used it, and it showed me
Yeah.
some bullshit route. But the train came, and I wasn't sure if it was the correct one. But after I realized that it was, I pressed the doors, but they wouldn't open again because it just arrives, it opens, and then it closes, and then it's off again.
It shits on you. You can have your dick inside it and it just explode and
Yes, I
go
would.
on a ride.
Sadly, I didn't try that.
Sadly, man. I will try it next time, no worries.
No, with Metro, I had cool experiences. Also, once I took the Metro after returning from my visit to the Buckingham Palace
Mm.
and spending a day at the park there, at St. James Park. I think St. James or St. Thomas or whatever, some British guy.
So some British guy.
I took the Metro and it was so full, and for some reason it couldn't stop at the station I wanted to. So we had to get off, and I took 3 unnecessary connections at least, I think.
Oh fuck.
And eventually I got off and just walked back home
Oh no.
because I didn't.
Too much stress. With
Too much
these
stress.
fucking metros. And how much do you
Yes.
pay? You need to pay when you enter?
Yeah, that's a cool system.
£1
Yeah, around £1.
of meat or
Or like in Swiss francs, it would be like maybe 1 to 2 francs, I think. But it's cool because every time you enter the underground, it's called in English.
the
So,
underground.
yeah, you go into the underground. You first I did it with my phone because
Yes.
I also heard that in London is very touristic. I think there's more tourists than British people
Okay.
there. No, there's a lot of tourists, and depending on where you are, it's very easy for someone to steal something from you.
Yeah, I heard in London there are the most phone thieves.
Really?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah. So luckily, I didn't have an
I
iPhone.
think there is a street nearby where they sell cell phones,
Really?
and these are mostly um, stolen phones. I saw once a vlog with someone
Really? I thought.
extra let them steal their phone and then went to this market to search it and found it.
I
So
I think they just take it to China and sell it there.
now they
On the
got
black
it from
market.
China. They don't need to sell it in China.
I don't know how the business works there, but
Doesn't. Simple.
but the metro. I was at the metro, right?
Yes.
It was overall cool. Exactly that's what I wanted to say. You kind of check in, and I took these measures to reduce the risk of getting robbed. So,
Yes.
for example, I would have this belt. How do you say Bauchtasche?
Stomach. The stomach
Like a
bag.
like a belt bag, like the one you put around your belt.
The Hugo belt.
Yeah, exactly. And I put it under my hoodie so it wasn't visible.
But you're the Polish guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you scared?
No, I just
You need to
know.
steal.
Yeah, exactly. I stole. No, I didn't want to steal. Those days
Rich.
are over.
Those days are over.
My stealing days
These
are
days.
over. And I paid with everything with my phone, so I didn't have to take out the card all the time.
Okay, great.
So you check in, you pay the $2, you ride the metro to wherever you want, and you have to pay again to get out. Exactly.
So technically, you don't need to pay out, and you can stay there and sleep. So you have a hotel
I think
for like
yeah.
2 francs.
That's
That's
a very
crazy.
good idea.
It's a good idea.
Next
Why didn't you told this the French guy?
Next
Come with me,
time,
boy.
I'm going to take my tent and fit it up in the train.
Tent, sleeping bag, some snooze. Yeah.
Exactly. You don't need more.
You don't need more.
Yeah, but not to talk too much about metros and stuff like that. London is a very cool city.
I can believe it.
It's a very cool city.
I also wanted to come with you, but I didn't have any money and
Yeah,
any time.
but
So it just
mostly time because I
mostly
offered
time.
you to pay.
Yeah, you want to pay for
but
me, but
you're a little wuss, so you wouldn't come.
yeah, but I couldn't. I mean, for real.
I couldn't.
No, I had work to do also
No.
at my what I call marketing farm, marketing budget farm. You need to understand. I farm. Yes, I farm marketing budget with lifeguard job at the evening, so I can work the whole day at my business, and then at around 6, 7 o'clock I go there and play the lifeguard. I'm playing the
Okay.
hero.
There goes my hero.
And of course, yes, I also want to mention it. The songs that you hear at the beginning, these are our own, how do you say, recordings of the band
Yes.
Foo Fighters.
But they don't have to always be Foo Fighters, I
No.
think. Because we sometimes build in different songs from Nirvana, Green Day, or whatever. So we thought about the intro being a short clip of us playing and Adam's iconic,
This is the Foo Fighters podcast! Hey, man, you did me bad on the last episode. If you haven't heard it, you need to listen to the end.
there was, I overdid it in the end
I
because
just said it once and you put it there like 20 times.
I did it really quickly just to have it, but I have to think about maybe something else we can do at the end, or maybe we can put always the same melody in the end or something different in the
I like
beginning.
variations.
Exactly. So yeah, to make that clear, right? That
Yeah, of course.
yes,
You need to pay to listen to us now. Sponsor us, 20 francs.
yes. No, but
Tell me more about London. You went there and I saw you bought a really nice guitar.
yes,
Where did you got it from?
that was the last day.
So we skipped.
It was the day I went, bought souvenirs. I checked out routes I didn't walk yet because I walked every day, with the
Mhm.
exceptions of 2 or 3 ferry cruises, like on the ship.
Yeah.
I walked everywhere.
You did a ferry cruise.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very cool. The British have a very cool sense of humor.
Is it so?
Yeah,
What kind?
yeah. There was this guy who really he explained every building, right, you would see. So if you look to the left, you see the house that Boris Johnson lived in, right? And then Shrek's Adventure, right? Or something like that. Or I can't say exactly, like this is the house with the most, it's the most criminal place there is,
Nice.
where they do taxes and stuff like that. But you can imagine a very British accent.
Yes.
Also, I don't know if he was just joking around, but what he told us is that the Big Ben,
Okay.
which is actually just the bell inside.
Yes, this is.
Yeah, I told you this. That the guy they named it after was Benjamin, so they named it Big Ben. There was the guy in charge of construction, I think.
Uh-huh.
But that apparently, and this is the part I maybe didn't pick up the sarcasm, is that his first name was actually Richard, and his second name was Benjamin.
So
But-
why Richard? Because the big dick.
Yeah, exactly. Because the short version for Richard is Dick.
It's so dumb. I mean, if Richard, you can have a name for Rich. It would be good.
Richie,
Hey,
you
Rich!
always say, yeah.
Richie, come here, Richie.
I think maybe Dick is older, I think.
Hey, oh, Dick. It doesn't even have the same letters. Do you know what was this YouTuber's name? Who draw this stupid figures under a
After
Or-
no, not after school.
not after school. Undergrade, under A?
I think you know what you
This
mean.
one who is like
Yeah,
this small guy and this big mouth. And the father is
Yeah,
he did the episode. Yo, man, what dick? You can't say rich. This is a great guy. I think he stopped making videos like in 2012. Good guy.
But actually, Big Ben was not as
Big.
crazy as I thought.
Really?
Maybe you could go in, I don't know, but it's Big Ben, and right next to it there's the Parliament houses.
Uh-huh.
But the Big Ben, it's really big, so the name is okay, but it's just pretty from outside. But you walk by, you take a picture and you continue on.
Oh, wow. Go on.
Exactly.
Just a tourist.
Yeah. But something that
Attraction.
I liked a lot more was the London Eye.
What is the London
The
Eye?
London Eye is the big Ferris wheel,
Ah, yes.
and it's right opposite of the Thames River.
okay.
The Thames is the river that flows through entire London.
Uh-huh.
And on the London Eye, it takes about half an hour to go completely across, and it's very beautiful at the top.
Was it higher than the Big Ben?
Yeah, a lot
Crazy.
higher. Wait, I have a picture I can show you. Sadly, not for you guys. You can,
Losers.
but I want to show Adam.
Open your eyes.
Open your
Oh,
eyes.
wait. No, you can't.
Please
Sorry, guys. Please don't unfollow.
don't unfollow. Where is it? Oh, I didn't send you. I have to look at my photos.
In the meantime, you can go to the comments and tell us your feedback. What do you think about our topics? Do you have any recommendations? We just want, for the first 20 episodes, to talk about some specific niches that fits us, fits me, fits my brothers, and of course some discussions. Now we just found this topic because my Michal just went there. He shows, wow, this looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very nice reflection here on the right. I don't know what that is.
Wow. Did you took your 80s camera with you?
No, I didn't,
That's sad.
because I found it a good idea. I found it a good idea at first, but Oh no, you know what? I'm sorry. I took it with me,
You took
but
it
I
with-
didn't use it.
Wow, man, that's pretty lame.
Yeah, I know, but
Shame on you.
I found out that it would be too stressful to because I don't yet know how exactly when on which day how the weather is. You have to adjust the manual
yes.
settings because it's a completely manual camera, automatic camera, and I didn't have time to read into that.
Oh,
so
of course, no problem.
yeah.
But you did some photos here in Switzerland. Did you get it from the store?
Not yet.
Not yet.
There was
We need to go on.
yeah. We have to if they didn't throw it out already. But yeah, London Eye was nice. The walk to there was nice. There's Camden Market, right?
Mhm.
That's like a big food place, I guess. They sell food, a lot of people, very crowded. And yeah, as I said, I also visited Buckingham Palace and the park nearby. I also went to no, the thing you asked me at first about the guitar, right? That was the
Yes,
last
it's-
day. Because it was the London Eye, the Big Ben, the Buckingham Palace. Oh yeah, I went to the British Museum,
Mhm.
which was free entry, which was cool.
Crazy.
But I didn't found it so interesting. I walked across everything I could find. I spent around 2 hours there, and it was like any other museum, I think. I guess.
But just with English spirit.
Yeah, but you had the Chinese exhibition, you had the
Oh, wow.
Turkish exhibition, you had every exhibition.
And you took the Turkish one.
I took everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I also bought some souvenirs at the British Museum, which was cool. And at the last day, I went to buy some souvenirs to send out postcards, and I had the thought to go and look at some guitar shops. There were some really cool antique guitar shops with like really old Fender electric guitars.
That's crazy.
But you don't go there to buy them. I think you just go to look at them. But the one I found was a very cool. It was Wunjo guitars.
For me, it looks like a Mexican guitar. I don't know why.
No, the store was called Wunjo Guitar.
Ah, okay, yes.
So if you're in London and you want some good service and a very cool shop, I would recommend it, Wunjo Guitars.
You can put there the code SZC.
Yeah, no, first I have to make a call, then we can see. But the guy, shout out to him if he's listening. No, he probably isn't. But he was very nice. He also gave me the bag and a belt for the guitar with some picks for free.
With some pigs for free.
Yeah.
Did you lose
which
them all?
was nice. I think I have one left. At least one survived the trip. Yeah, I bought a resonator guitar.
Resonator. But is it
Yeah.
like really Mexican like guitar, or am I just tripping?
I don't know, you would say Mexican. I know why you would think that, because give that to a Mexican with a Mexican hat and you would have the perfect combo.
Yeah.
But it's a resonator guitar, means that the body, the metal part, is a special acoustic design which projects the sound forward, which means you hear the guitar better. Like if I were playing it here, when you're listening at the door or like at the piano here, then right next to it, because the sound is projected forward. But you can also stick the plug in and use it digitally, and it's very pretty. It's nice
very
wood.
pretty.
It has like a V-shaped neck, which I don't know if you saw. It's very comfortable for your
I
thumb.
played it once. It was really great.
And a very good price, £600 for such a guitar. It was very good.
£600. I love how they have their pounds. Man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also think they say quid.
Yeah, but why
But I
did
don't know.
this? Comment
have
below,
no
please.
idea.
Why quit?
Yeah, but don't quit. But
Don't
why
quit.
quid?
You were a squid.
Yeah, and apart from that, I went to a very nice sushi restaurant, very nice Japanese restaurant, which was right outside my hotel. I also went to a place called Brick Lane. I think it was called Brick
It was
Lane.
where the photo from the Beatles came.
No, that's AB Road.
AB Road.
I also wanted to do that, but there was a bit more outside from where I was.
Yeah.
I think that would be like an hour or so to get there not with walking, I think, but I had to drive. And it's also, I read up on it, it's a normal street. So cars pass all the time, meaning
The left lane.
yeah, exactly, on the left lane. That's crazy. I didn't realize it until I was there. I was like, what the fuck is happening? But AB Road would be cool, but you either have to go very early in the morning or during a weekday. But apparently the people driving there are accustomed to people wanting to take pictures. But if you take too long, they'll get pissed. And I didn't find it
Swords out.
exactly. For the Queen! Move! Yeah, but the Tower of London was very cool. You know the Tower of London?
No, I thought it was Big Ben.
No, Big Ben is another place. My hotel was at the place where I had to walk around 10 minutes, and you come to the not to the London Bridge, but to the Tower Bridge. And the Tower Bridge is the one you definitely know. It's with the blue hanging thing and the two towers. You can also walk up. And, the bridge, it can open up also for ships. And before you get to the Tower Bridge, there's the Tower of London, which I'll put up really quickly here so you can see what it looks like.
Don't worry, guys, we plan to install a camera and a big screen so you can also see all those things, and we will organize good working person who will sit in the background, show us these photos.
This is the Tower of London. It's
So
basic.
more like a cast.
Yeah, it's basically where the king used to be, I guess, guarded, where the royal people would be.
Yeah.
Right, and it was very fascinating walking through all the places inside, the exhibitions of how they managed the place, how they tortured people there, also how a battle would look like, how they would defend themselves, go up with the bows. And there's also the place where the crown jewels are. So that's where the diamonds, but I didn't go there because the line was literally the entire place was the queue, and I didn't want to wait 3 hours just to look at some diamonds and then walk away.
Could seal them.
You cannot even take a picture. I mean, what's the point? But that was very, very cool. And then the Tower Bridge is right next to it. Exactly.
No.
This also has some monuments, like it has, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the second biggest building in Europe.
Oh wow.
It looks like just like a pyramid, like a very tall pyramid. And it also has the Shakespeare Globe, which was the place where Shakespeare used to perform the theaters. And it's still a theater.
Wow.
You can still go there. Apparently, it also has a very crappy new modern art museum, which is free. But the guy on the cruise ship told us that it's not very popular, and that's the reason why it's free, because it's garbage. And literally, garbage made into art. So he also said, if you know anyone who likes this place, I welcome them to my apartment. you have empty beer cans there too.
Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, but that was that. And basically that's the gist of it.
No, then you have the guitar, and then you needed to go through the security control again.
Yes, that's
they thought
the
that
story
you snuck up
continues.
some cocaine inside.
I did,
Oh.
but I hid it smartly. Hid it up in my asshole.
I thought in the guitar hole.
That would have been smart.
Now you know.
No, but in general, I spent 4 nights in in London from Monday to Friday, but on Friday morning I had to check out again. I had a lot of time to think to myself. I also would come back after a long day of just walking.
Yeah.
I literally walked all across London in one day,
It's crazy.
which is crazy. And I used to come back to the hotel, take some food with me, and just chill, write in my notebook, play the guitar on the last day, and think. That was a very cool time. But I also had to continue my journey because on Friday, I have also decided to go to Amsterdam for the weekend. And you might ask yourself, why Amsterdam? Is it so much interesting culture there? Yes,
Very
that
interesting culture.
must be it. Very rich. No,
It was because of the red light district. We all
yeah,
know it.
exactly. Yeah, but I was disappointed because there were no guys there.
Oh, sad.
Yeah, so I went there for nothing.
No.
Yeah. No, but I went to Amsterdam because it was, I guess, the place which I could visit before I headed home. I could have visited Belgium or stuff like that, but
Fuck Belgium.
fuck Belgium. Amsterdam has weed, so I had to go there. And I was aware in Amsterdam a couple of times. And I had this very crappy hotel there. Yes. It was very noisy because they celebrated King's Day in the Netherlands. And that's, you can imagine, literally one of the biggest parties ever, or in Europe at least.
Weed parties or just
I mean,
parties.
all kind of drugs, I guess, are legal there.
Yeah.
No,
But also for tourists.
yeah, of course.
Okay.
But I didn't know that, so I got a lot of weird looks. But I went there. I walked around the city a little bit. I smoked my joint, ate some edibles.
Yeah.
Also had some shrooms on the way back. I couldn't sleep at all because they were partying all the time.
I don't think about if it was the parties or the edibles.
No, I would normally be able to fall asleep,
Okay.
but they were partying all night. It was difficult. But I walked around the city. I went to see the smallest house in Amsterdam.
How big is it?
It's very small. You can imagine,
A dick long.
look at my cupboard, right?
Yes.
It's like the length of the cupboard, like the breite, right? And this from that wall to this wall.
That's correct.
And and at the end you would have stairs which would go up. And he has his bureau, his workplace at the top, and the spices because
and what does he work?
they sell spices, herbs, tea, stuff like that.
Crazy.
And I bought it for a friend, for Pat. Shout out.
Shout out, Pat.
Yeah.
Where are you? We need him on this podcast, to be
Yeah,
honest.
he'll come.
He's an interesting guy.
Very interesting guy. I
He's
think.
also good in English. He's also a teacher.
Yeah.
He speaks Formula German.
Formula.
How do you say it?
Like High German.
High German.
I guess das Deutsch,
correct-
welches man spricht, ne?
That's correct. The correct German.
Yeah, not the funny Swiss German, but yeah. And I bought him some tea. I also bought some other souvenirs I forgot to buy in London. And I thought about, I was only 2 nights there, and I visited everything I wanted to. And at first I wanted to buy some weed and take it home.
But why didn't you do this?
I thought about it, and I came to the conclusion not to do it. First, because I actually talked with the people I bought the weed and the shrooms from, and they said that you should not do it no matter what. That apparently they have really restricted it and increased border controls. And also, I didn't have a control, I wasn't controlled at the end, but also you have to think they do these checks randomly, and they know that Amsterdam is a source where people transport that stuff. And additionally to that, it was also after one of the biggest parties in Europe.
Yeah, of course.
So I didn't want to risk it.
Yeah.
So I,
Just snuff
didn't
them
do it.
up in your stomach.
Exactly. Yes. Suddenly I started to feel very strange, as if I was flying with the train.
It is all because of the Deutsche Bahn.
Yes, these fuckers.
Yes.
No, and then I got home, and on the next day, life began again.
You started to work again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
Now
a nice
I've
trip.
talked. It was a very nice trip.
What have you learned?
What have I learned? Not much, to be honest.
Not much. You never learn much, do you?
I have learned that I am capable
Of
of
not snucking drugs into Switzerland.
Well, I learned nothing. No, I learned that I'm capable
Of self.
50 minutes. I'm capable of traveling on my own.
Organizing yourself. I
Yeah.
mean, you did, I don't know, 4 hours of pre-work and you had everything you needed.
Yeah, I didn't have basically any problems. Everything went smooth. I was confident. It was nice to know that I'm capable of that.
And I think we can recommend it to everyone. If you're thinking about it, just jump on the train. You have nothing to lose. You can have the craziest stories. Just jump to a train from here to Serbia.
But maybe
You may be asking, what if I get robbed? Exactly.
then you get robbed
And
and
you have
you
a story
have
to
the
tell.
experience. Yeah, maybe look that I don't have so much crazy I don't have so much specific stories other than what I visited and what I thought about it, because I was most of the time I was on my own. So there couldn't really be so much stories because it was a very calm, self-fulfilling journey meant to made me think. It was a journey where I'm a person, I like to talk to people. I'm very social. But this was the vacation where I said, if I don't need to, I won't. I'm just going to be on my own and I'm going to think, listen to music, plan my life, plan my future, and just enjoy myself. Yes.
That's crazy. I also want to do it if I got some free space, free time. I really want to visit Venice,
Vienna.
Vienna, yes.
Yes.
And then go to Ungarn. How do you say name?
Hungary.
Hungary.
Yes.
Hungary. And then to the south.
The places down below.
Yes.
Yes. So now I've talked about 50 minutes about my trip.
Yes.
I hope it was nice for you, Adam, to listen. Thank you very much for listening.
Hey, you haven't told me so much earlier, a little bit, and I think it was great for me also to know what have happened in your life then. So it's very interesting to hear. I hope there are some British people listening who are asking, what the fuck, man, are you talking about? London is much better.
much better.
Much better. You
No.
went also on Taco Tuesday, so yes.
On Tuesday.
On Tuesday, innit?
No, but I
I
hope
like the
that
accent. I love it.
we managed to combine me talking about London with some interludes of conversation. So I'm grateful that you jumped in with some things. So it was not only the plain talking of what I did in London.
There were some cool jokes.
Yeah, I hoped it was enjoyable, and I hoped that it inspired you to think, I'm an adult. I can go outside and travel if I want to. It's all possible. And if a 22-year-old little autistic boy can do it,
You can do it also.
so can you.
And if you have done it once, then leave a comment about it, where you have went and how was it for you.
Exactly.
We'll be happy to read it.
Yes. And on the next episode, it's going to be more Adam focused. So maybe there was a very good idea to talk about the London stuff because it came up. But Adam also has some one or two things I think that came up that's you could call a change in your life, even if a small one. There's your interest in the church, right?
Christianity, yes.
Exactly, which I think religion is it's a very sensible, but it's also a very good topic to talk about, and I think we can both talk about it.
Yeah, of course. Discuss it.
So you will see that, or maybe something else in the next episode.
Yes.
Yes.
You want to talk about it, so here's a little sneak peek, I hope. How do you say? Gespannt.
That you're under voltage.
Yeah.
No.
So, thank you very much for listening.
Yes.
And stay healthy.
Stay healthy, eat your vegetables,
Yeah.
and have a nice day. Nice.
This is the podcast.
This is the Foo Fighters podcast.